Hey, Kennard.
Oh, there. Angie, can you hear me?
Hoo-hoo!
Wow.
Look at God. Look at
If
God.
if I didn't like to have an occasional glass of wine, I would like it now. That was a 15-minute exercise in patience.
Yes.
Thank you for your forgiveness and understanding.
Oh, come on, brother.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Well, let's take this from the top.
Okay,
So,
let's go.
hello. Selfians. Hello. My brain just went like on full pause, okay? Because I have spent the last 16 minutes now fooling around with this technology. I have my producer in my ear on FaceTime on another device, and this is why I'm doing what I do. So, Selfians, welcome to the latest broadcast of this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining in. As I told you in two broadcasts prior, I have a special guest for you. It's none other than the founder, the CEO of Artful Angels, my favorite older sister, my only older sister.
Please. Oh, God.
The one and only Angela Taylor. Angela, hey sis.
Yes. Hi.
All right. So listen, let's tell people, who is Angela Taylor?
Angela Taylor is a
Loaded question, I know.
mother, woman of God first, a mother, a daughter, a sister. Um, she is a aunt. She is a G mom to her bonus. She is a friend, and she's a huge advocate of breast cancer.
Awesome. Breast cancer. Well, we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so let's jump right into that pool. So, as I've already spilled the beans and let everybody know, and congratulations, you are a guest on ABC's daytime talk show, The View, on Thursday, October 27th, 2022, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're one of four guests. Tell us about it, Angie. Shout it out.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Only God, first and foremost, only
Yes.
because hashtag God said so. Really, really. If he doesn't say so, it ain't gonna happen. Um, I was selected via a search engine called Google by the producers, one of the producers of the show. And she herself is a breast cancer survivor. And so she wanted to choose a breast cancer survivor that was paying it forward, gave back to the community. And she Google searched me. And that was a few weeks ago. And lo and behold, we had a couple of interviews. Today, I actually had my Zoom interview for the actual video portion of the show. Yes. I I know I did well. They seemed pleased. Her editor was also on the Zoom along with her, and they asked me questions, from the beginning of my journey to how Artful Angels came about to how I feel today. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to being on, America's live TV broadcast, sharing with the world my passion about education and advocacy on breast cancer. And it never stops. It shouldn't just be for October, because October never ends as it relates to breast cancer. Everybody knows somebody that has had this horrible disease, and we know ourselves how it has unfortunately, griped our family, and our family tree line with cancer is just um, enormous. But breast cancer alone with our family is, very heartbreaking. However, there is, there's a silver lining. Us survivors in the family, which are few, which is a great number, we're still here and we're still able to share our story and our journey and help inspire others.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm thinking about, our family and the survivors, conquerors that are in the family, right? Is your own niece, my own oldest daughter, Tanyelle. Shout out to you, Tanyelle, in San Diego, California. So when when did that journey start for you? How did it come about? Where were you in your life, like mentally, and just take us back if you don't mind.
I was 50. I felt my own
What?
lump.
You're
Yeah.
50?
I had just
You don't
turned
look
five.
50.
I had just turned 50. I had just turned 50.
How old are you now? Feel 50?
Okay, we're not asking questions like that on live broadcast YouTube. You don't ask a girl that, Kennard.
Oh, that's right. Mommy said that, right.
That's
Well,
right. Remember that.
we'll get
Remember
that
that.
edited out. I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
The
I
technical
was
difficulty.
50. I had gotten mammograms since the age of 35. I was 4 months shy behind in getting my annual. Just life stuff came about. I just said, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. Working, work life balance, all that kind of great stuff. And I just didn't get around to it. And had come from a trip. At that time, my boyfriend had taken me on this amazing birthday celebration, and we had come back home here. And I did a self breast exam. I felt my breast, and I felt a lump, and the lump had never been there before. So, as you know, I work in healthcare and have for 17 years. And so I went back to work a couple of days later. I ran into my primary care doctor in the hallway, and I asked her to come take a look. So I went to her office and she felt it. And then the very next day, I had a mammogram, which was, something I again should have had 4 months prior on my annual. And I had the mammogram and I had an ultrasound, and something was detected on the screen, something unusual. And the very next day, for the first time in my life, I had a biopsy. And the biopsy determined that there was malignancy. So benign means you have a tumor that is non-cancerous, and malignant means that the tumor is cancerous. And so mine was, and I got the call, and it was on a Friday.
Mm.
And I remember the doctor, the radiologist, just, giving me like three tidbits. She said, pray, breast surgeon, oncology. And she told me to do those things. And so I started the search to find a breast surgeon and an oncologist. And then there was more revealed when I shared with them about our strong family history, you know. And I always feel like when I tell them about our family history, like, it's something that, you can't make this shit up, right? Especially when I start off and I say both of our grandmothers had breast cancer. Like, people, like both of them. And then, and this is just breast cancer. If we could do a family tree just with cancer by itself between our family, the Haneys and the Wymans, people would just be like, "Oh my gosh!" We probably would run out from the paper. The letter size 8 by 11. We probably would run out because I mean that's just breast cancer, just all the cancers. But anyway, I shared with the doctor about all the women that had endured breast cancer. And immediately my breast surgeon said, first thing we need to do is do a BRCA test. And I really wanted to do one for my daughter so that she could make an informed decision when she was ready. So for the YouTube viewers that don't know what BRCA is, it's a genetic test, and it determines if you carry the genetic trait, which has high probability of either breast cancer, ovarian cancer. And so I took the test and it came back that I was BRCA positive 1. And with that information, the doctors, my team, were able to help me in their scientific um, um, standpoint, their knowledge to make a decision about the best treatment plan for me. And since I was 50, it wasn't like I'm childbearing age, they were like, we believe you should remove both of your breasts and have a hysterectomy. And I was okay with that. I was really okay. The girls were great to me at one point in time. When I say the girls, my tatas. Um, However, they were sickly. They failed and they just needed to be removed. But that journey is not that simple, especially when you have treatment involved with it, which was chemotherapy for me. And it was hard. It was really hard. It was hard in the fact that it made me sick, you know. Um, and it's a life changing treatment, meaning um, there's side effects after chemo, there's side effects after the surgeries. I've had 3 surgeries since um, my breast journey, and this is my new norm. But I'm still here. I am still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still advocating. I still accept this is a new and improved Angie.
I like that. That's right.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
It is.
layers, like an onion, layers are being peeled. And it shows you your strength, your resilience, um, for me as well, the scars show me it's like my battleground. It shows me like who Angela Renee Haney Taylor really is. Pretty remarkable. A warrior.
Our high school mascot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So,
Ooh, 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 ooh.
so for those, I can go full circle and bring some history into the story.
Mhm.
I was a horrible big brother, and I'm happy to say, I'm very thankful to say that since those pre-adolescent years of me being the big brother in the home, that Angie and I's relationship has gone a full 180 degrees thanks to her love and grace and encouragement and support of me and I for her, vice versa. So I'm very thankful for that. And like I said, with all love and sincerity, she is my favorite older sister. So, and what people don't know about you that I know about you that I've never publicly said is that you have always been a person of evolution and self growth and self introspection, like layers of an onion, that has been your life since as long as I can remember. You have always been that person. Angie is also an amazing friend, not just to me as, my older sister, I her big brother, but Angie's friends. And she can name them, and maybe we'll get into that. I'd like to get into a little bit of that. Some of Angie's friends have been her friends her entire life, and their relationship and evolution continues to bear fruit and shows. And it's a remarkable thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gift. But keep that thought. Don't let me forget that to come back to it, Angie. But during your journey, this is like I would imagine there are stages in the process of once you're diagnosed.
Mm.
Did you go through those stages? Like like
Yes.
denial, depression, frustration, anger, any of that? Like
It's funny you should say that. I didn't go through denial. Once they stated that it was breast cancer, I knew it. Like I knew it. I knew it that day that I was in my bedroom. I did a self breast exam. Um, did I go through frustration? Yes. I didn't. I wouldn't say that I was angry, but one of my best friends, MJ, Michelle, told me that I was angry one day when she had come take care of me. Probably because I'm not trying to sit here and make, a suitable explanation, but I was relying on people coming, and I've always prided myself on being very self-sufficient. I was a single mom before I met Wayne and became a widow, and even after that, I went back to being a single mom. Um, However, I think mommy and daddy raised us very wonderfully made, where we knew that you take care of you so that you can take care of others, your seed first, and then others. And I didn't like the fact that I was reliant on people. Um, and chemo had me at a place where uh how can I say, I needed people. I worked throughout my chemo. I never stopped working. And I worked because I chose to work, because I felt like at that time I lived here alone. Alyssa wasn't here at that moment. But if I didn't work, then I would come home, go into that self-pity, and the freaking four walls would start caving in. And you let the, whatever you might want to call it, the enemy, the devil, your mindset, it's like the Fred Flintstone, the good and the bad, like just starting to penetrate. And I knew that I couldn't afford for that to happen. I couldn't afford that for many reasons. I couldn't afford that, one, because I was in the fight of my life; two, because I wasn't going to let stress add more to the injury, which was what I was facing. And psychologically, I mean, with a lot of people, a lot of different things and areas in life, you know um, when you go through a mourning process, the loss of something, anything, a person, there should be a time to grieve. And I was grieving the fact that something had failed and it was going to be gone, even though one might say, oh, it's just breast, oh, it's just hair. Unless you walk the walk, you would not understand. So don't judge, don't throw a stone until you can, you know, go through it, or walk through it. And the fact that treatment alone by itself was challenging, debilitating. It hurt. It hurt. Um, I had no desire to eat. I lost 30 pounds. Forget the fact that you've got no hair, and hair for a woman is so vital, for most women anyway. It's a part of our self identity. And then on top of that, you've got areas of your body that are also falling apart, where the chemo does what it's supposed to do. It also does the bad things. You have neuropathy, where your hands or your feet or your legs are just like frozen, and there's no feeling. And then you've got the good old, your toenails and your nails are coming off, so your whole body is going through this like crazy metamorphosis, and you're trying to keep yourself up and like, okay, I got this. And then the illness and the sickness, and then the throwing up or the constipation. And then, you do chemo. For me, it was on a Thursday. I started feeling better. Monday, Tuesday, I'm going back to chemo on a Thursday. So it was a vicious cycle. And I had calendars in here, and I mark off the days every time I would go. And it was like, inmate. I wanted to be released. I wanted to be released. And then you're putting on the front, you at work and people see you rocking wigs, scarves, whatever, you know, thinking of you and praying. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that. Just say hi, Angie. Just say hi. The self-pity made me feel even less than I was already, you know?
So would that be advice you would give to people watching, listening, if they know someone close to them or even not
Yes.
too close, to
Yes, yes,
treat
yes.
their
I get that
person
a
well?
lot. I get that a lot. What do you say? What do you do for somebody that is going through it? Just say, I'm here. Whatever you need, I'm here. When you need me. When you need me, I'm here.
And keep it moving.
And keep it moving. Yeah, yeah.
That's good. So circle back. Let's circle back since it's come up, and you mentioned your friend MG. And it's MK, right?
MJK.
MJK.
Yeah,
MJK.
yeah.
So tell us about your friends, what you discovered about friendship during this journey. And again, if there's something you would recommend or suggest to those out there that are dealing with emotion and dealing with it.
Um, well, like I said, I was a little shocked when she said that I was angry. I didn't feel as though that was the case, but you know, um, one thing I'll say about our friendship, not just our friendship, the friendships that I have, even with, our sister, you know, everybody has an opinion. And um, it is just that at times. However, there are also times that we, as the other party, need to take a look and, not seeing that something is valid because, again, it's their opinion, but they could recall something and you might look back and be like, yeah, you know what? Damn, I did do that. And I recall one of the times she came and she was just like, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to cook. And I said to her, yeah, but at that moment you were doing like too much. I just wanted you to sit still and just be there. And I think for me at that time, that was really relevant and really important. And maybe I didn't come across and I didn't say that. However, I wasn't in the capable mind to freaking say that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there going to chemo, and you're sitting there and get mad at me because I'm yelling at you, and you want to cook like 10 meals a day, and then want me to come sit down, and that's Michelle. Like, that's Michelle. Um, Whereas when Stacy came, I said she wasn't coming and cooking no 10 meals. She, sis, you all right? You want a blanket? This. And she sat back out here in the living room, watch TV. Michelle is definitely much more of the domesticated, like, I gotta smother you and I gotta take care of you in that manner. But going back to your question, I took her comments into advisement and took a self look, and I realized, I probably was, and I apologize. However, I would say this: I never, I don't believe I walked into like I know this for a fact. I never walked into my oncologist's office like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, why me? I never ever ever said why me. I actually said to God, I will carry this burden. If Alyssa, I pray Alyssa will never have to. I'm honored. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I do not want to see my daughter go through this.
And for
So
those who don't know, Alyssa is who?
Alyssa is my 26-year-old true female daughter.
True female.
Yeah, queen. She's the queen
Okay.
in her own mind. In the beginning, she was. And reality came, especially when she moved back with Bobby. I'm like, no, no. The queen actually is dead. Elizabeth died.
Cool. You did.
I'm the
God
queen.
rest her soul. God rest her soul. What a great leader. Did you gain new friends during the process?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Some fake, some I ain't want. And everybody miserable ain't your friend. You know, it doesn't matter what part of your life journey are you at. Whether you married or something like that, and you got some, we all do. You got some miserable couples, and you'd be like, man, I don't want no parts of this. So I had to weed out some people. Uh, and that took time because people will show you who they are. And this was after the journey. But yeah, I've gained some, I've lost some, and that's okay. That's okay. I feel like right now less is more for me. However, with the exception of my business constituents, as far as the nonprofit and breast cancer organization is concerned, and even with some of them, I take them with a grain of salt. I get the information I need. I give them what they need. Um, but I don't need to hang out with you. I don't need to do all of that. I think that just comes with age and maturity, best put. And yeah, because everybody I hang with ain't my friend, and that's okay.
This may sound cliche, and if it is, comment on it.
Mhm. Forgive
When
me.
you deal with something like this, I guess filters become enhanced
Mhm.
as far as like you qualifying people, qualifying the meaning of your life, the sincerity of the relationships in your life, all of that. I mean, I can't relate. So,
Mhm.
is that true? Is that cliche? Do you hear that all the time? Like, oh, well, you've overcome cancer, so
Yeah,
boom.
I need a forgiveness real quick, real quick, real quick,
Okay, hopefully
real
we
quick,
can do it.
real quick. Stay right there. Sorry. Um,
Cool.
yes, I've
Yes.
heard people say things on the lines like, "Oh, you don't look like what you've been through," which is such
Hmm.
a
You don't
wonderful.
look like what you've been through.
Yeah, yeah, which is great. It's great to hear that. It really is great to hear that.
I can see it being a
However,
compliment intended to be a
yes, it does seem like a compliment, right? And one probably should, even though I'm different, um, which is great. Uh, Sometimes I just feel as if, how about that? It is a compliment. It is a compliment.
because you
Um,
look good. You look great. Me
thank
always,
you,
but
thank you,
you know,
thank you.
there's a warrior in you now that well, that warrior's come out, right?
Right,
And the enemy
exactly,
was cancer.
right. And now the thriver is out.
Another
I'm in thriving mode. I'm thriving.
I like that.
I
Thriving.
am
That's right.
thriving.
That's right. So talk to me now and tell us, how did Artful Angels come about?
Well, when I was going through chemo, I was there for about 4.5, 5 hours each session. Total of 4 bags dripped intravenously, and you got a chance to bond with other women that were going through the same exact thing, carrying around the IV poles, going to the bathroom, and for the majority of the time, I went alone. And I just started bonding with them, and it became a sisterhood. And so, we cut up. I laugh. You know me, I'm goofy, and crack jokes, whatever, and just trying to see the best of the situation. What while we were doing what we were doing, which was fighting for our lives with this poison dripping through us. And I got a chance to, communicate with them and find out. And then there was just like all necks of the woods of people there, from every color, every nationality, every background, and the ages of the women. From the youngest woman I sat in chemo with during those 5.5 months was 24, and that was mind blowing to me. Um, and then maybe like up until 78, 80 years old, like they, it's so mind blowing, especially when you see like a really older person. Like they not saying, nah, I'm gonna let age take over. No, no, they fighting. They fighting. They going through chemo. They fighting. And I'm not saying I would be any different. It was just like, dang, you know, no matter what. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. Um, and so I developed these friendships with these ladies. And after the fact, I knew I really wanted to give back, but I just did not know in what capacity. And so I was going to the dry cleaners one day, and I go every like 2 weeks, whatever. And the young lady behind the counter, she knows me very well, Mrs. Taylor. Like she knows me very well by name, knows my phone number and everything. And so she had seen me, rock wigs and scarves and hats and all of that, and she knew of my journey because I shared it with her. And so this one particular day, um, her name is Nikki. And this one particular day, I go in there and she's, hey, Mrs. Taylor. And it was probably 5, 6 months after my chemo and surgery. And her disposition, her aura was off. She's just always pretty happy. Um, Native, South Floridian, Miami. And I hugged her, whatever. And when I went to hug her, I was closing out my transaction. I went to hug her. She started like I was, her chest, and the tear gates open. And I said, Nikki, what's wrong? And she said, I feel a lump. And I was like, okay. And I said, how long have you felt it? And she said, a couple months. And I said, okay, it's gonna be okay. I said, we got to get a check, got to get a mammogram. And she said, Mrs. Taylor, I don't have insurance. And I immediately said, I'll pay for it, just like that. I had no clue I was going to pay for it, but I'll just pay for it. I was just thinking, cash out of pocket. I'll pay for it, self pay. And, because I work for a hospital. So I went to work the next, so I exchanged information with her phone number, whatever. And I told her, I said, Nikki, I'm serious. I'm going to get you an appointment. And when I call you, you work with me so that I can schedule the appointment and you just show up. And she was just like, you do that for me? I was like, yeah, because we need to know. Not knowing is a problem. And so I scheduled her an appointment, and she ran from me. Actually, I scheduled her two. She never showed. And then I stopped. Like I just, I'm texting her back and forth for a little bit, and after the second appointment where she didn't show, I happened to go back to the dry cleaners, and she just looked at me and she said, "I'm scared. I don't want to know." And she said, "Don't be mad at me. I just don't want to know." I didn't understand that. That was foreign to me. I said, you don't want to know if it's nothing or if it could be something. And she said, no, I don't want to know. She let fear overtake her thought process of going forward with anything. And it was a little heartbreaking for me because I was thinking to myself, like all the variables as any human would think. Like, okay, you just have a calcification. Because a lot of women have like caffeine deposits, calcifications, your menstrual cycle comes up, it's calcification. It's a tumor, sometimes it just forms. And sometimes they just sit in your body and the doctor won't do anything about it because really there's no harm to the body. But then on the other side, it could be malignant. And, I'm just saying, you could be stage 4 and walking around and like not know it. So that was a little foreign, but it opened me up to more at that time, wanting to start this 501, which I did start the process. And then obviously, I apologize. I take that back. It came to me what I was supposed to be doing. That's when it came to me from a faith, spiritual sense, what I was supposed to be doing. I'm going to pay for mammograms for women that cannot afford, but they're allowing fear to overtake their mindset to take that step to find out. So I started Artful Angels.
And why the name Artful Angels?
Hence my name. No. So, Angela Renee Taylor. And I think from Full Angels, I've had angels around me for a very long time. And I feel like I have been an angel to others. And an angel for me is intercessory, it's a guardian, it's a protection. And I hope and pray that's something that I'm able to give to others.
Are those clouds on your ceiling?
No, sir, they are not.
Talking about Artful Angels, and I'm thinking, oh, those are clouds on your ceiling. You did that by design too, didn't
you? No, I bought the house like that. It's something called no, you know what you're seeing? You're seeing the offspin of the what do you call it? The shadow of my shadow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, there's an interior design project for you. Get clouds with the Artful Angels logo on it. Speaking of which, nice job with the shirt.
Thank you.
So, how much is a self-pay mammogram?
Between $275 and $300.
Do you accept donations and contributions, and how would one do that if they wanted to?
100% yes. Absolutely. We are a nonprofit. Your wonderful tax donation will be greatly used to support a woman to know her truth. I like to say a slogan that I made up. A mammogram is a film you can't edit. It's the X-ray. It is what it is. You cannot touch it. Your result is your result. But to go back to your question, you feel freely. I'm on social media, and my website is artfulangels.org. ARTFULLANGELS.org.
Beautiful. Fantastic. What are your okay? Let me start it this way. If money were no issue, and we're going to imagine right now that money isn't an issue, because even with the 501(c), which delves into the area of taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Profit. I'm not really versed in that. You still need money.
Right.
If money weren't an issue, paint the picture of what Artful Angels would look like to the world.
If money wasn't an issue?
Money wasn't an issue.
Oh, if money wasn't an issue, Artful Angels would be definitely international. There are, unfortunately, a lot of, as our background is, our lineage is Caribbean. There are a lot of Caribbean women suffering that need the care, the health care needed to afford them with the mammogram. And so I would love to work with Caribbean countries to provide this service over there. Whether that would be having a radiologist um, have a practice, whether it be mobility wise, like a mobile van type situation, or
Great idea.
um, start with getting a 3D mammogram machine to the country, and to be able to provide this very important and necessary testing. That's what it would look like.
I love it. I love it. Did you write that down? Are you going to write that down?
Am I going to write that down?
Yes, I'm not. But are you
No, I
going
don't
to?
need to write that down. I have it right
You
here.
got that inside. I got you. Okay. Perfect. Your If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, your 30-year-old self, what would you say to yourself, knowing what you know now?
Um, hmm, what would I say? Oh wow. Well, I'll say a lot as relates to relationships. Angie, don't do that. But as it relates to my healthcare, I don't know. I've always
It's
pretty
open.
much been on top. I don't think there's anything I could have done differently about my personal situation. I do believe, from a God standpoint, a faith standpoint, that this breast cancer was going to come. I think it was genetically, unfortunately, created from my genetic standpoint. I don't believe that it was a former lifestyle that I had, or the fact that, I may drink some wine and or Tito's, here and
Right.
there in my life now. I don't believe that. And for the most part, I've always ate pretty healthy, and, I was never really overweight. Um, so, yeah, I think it's the way it was supposed to be, without a doubt. I think it was the way it was supposed to be, and I'm one. And I've had these conversations with you, but not with your audience. One of I pray my legacy motto will be, there is no regret.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
have a regret in my life at all for not one thing I've done. I got a couple of do overs I would like to do over, but not a regret, because I believe everything was ordained in the way it was supposed to, so that I could see every hurt, every pain, every tear. Um, Again, do overs. I think a do over is much different than a regret. So no, I'm satisfied with the way things are. Like I stated, yeah, hastily can make some decisions that, Angie, you wish you could have, like, not did that so quick. Well, you should have ran quicker, Angie. You should have quick when you walked too
Right.
slow.
Right.
But no, it is afforded me to be the person that I am today, and I'm proud to say, Christian, Alyssa, Chrissy, Desi, Vaughn, Wayne Jr. They got somebody that got some knowledge. I got a little experience, not knowing everything, but I could touch on a few things in life topics, on some life topics.
That's a great answer. So we'll do a follow-up
Okay.
second interview after your actual appearance on the view,
Okay.
and then maybe you can dive into some of those other how to do overs, maybe move a little faster decisions you could have made in your younger self. Not that you're old now, but
Right, right, right,
18, 30-year-old self, knowing what whatever age you are now, self knows.
right.
And
Exactly.
in your comment, you and talking about our Caribbean lineage and DNA makes me think about. I was just listening. I've been listening lately to Dr. Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe from Nassau, Bahamas. I mean, he's passed away. He's dead, gone way too soon, in my opinion, but one of the foremost, for me, greatest teachers of what the kingdom of God is.
Okay.
That is now carried on for me through a business consultant, former pastor by the name of Dr. Myron Golden. So, what's the odds of a Dr. Miles Monroe being a foremost authority on the kingdom of God and passed down to Dr. Myron Golden,
Mm.
who's a modern day great teacher on the kingdom of God through a business entrepreneurial perspective, teaching everything that he does about business from the Bible.
Okay.
And Dr. Monroe said in something I just listened to today, and I'm going to paraphrase it loosely, and you need to listen to it yourself, you and the audience, that God doesn't need, when we pray for things, when we're in need, we should be actually praying because it's God's need, because that just allows him to be great. And he
Right.
said he was going to do these things. And I say all that very loosely, and forgive me for those students of the kingdom of God through Dr. Monroe for loosely paraphrasing this, but you said you were supposed to have this because this was an opportunity for you to show, for God to show how great he is by
Right.
what he's done for you.
Right.
And you just said it and are living it in a different way, which is beautiful. You know,
It is. I'm still here.
that's right. Yeah, with work to do, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And wings to help give out through all the
Absolutely.
angels. So that's pretty cool. Do you give out wings?
No, I do not give
Anyone
out
that gets a
wings.
mammogram? Here's your Artful Angel wings.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just being teasy, and it's after 5, and
It's okay. It's
a
okay.
glass of wine sounds really good.
Yes,
So,
it does.
all right, sis. So, what for those that are watching and listening? Anything last thing you want to say? Encourage,
Yes.
admonish against, pray
Um,
for, hope for. Floor is yours.
I think I just want to note, end it on, be your own advocate. Um, if you don't look out for yourself, no one else will. We always, not that, you haven't heard that before, but, everybody will say, even for men, especially for men, like, I'm way too busy to go to doc to get a checkup. Okay. Men, we got the cholesterol, we got the high blood pressure, we have erectile dysfunction, like, nothing to be ashamed about.
Right.
Not this day and age. Not
Right.
this day and age. Not when you got children 20 years old with diabetes,
Right.
because they're eating the wrong thing. So if you don't take care of you, you ain't got to worry about looking around to take care of nobody else, because you ain't going to be here. It's real simple. And not to make it harsh, but get selfish about your health. Period. Period. And also just, once again, say to yourself, you ain't the only one going through this. Whatever it might be, there's always somebody else that has your same story.
Our
And there's a
amazing mom
million others
always
have.
say that.
Yeah.
Our amazing mom always said that. That's one of the infinite lessons I carry from her is you are never alone.
Yeah.
Never, never. And I remember one of many conversations we had, and I'll stop, I promise. And you said that men can go through PMS too. And I'm sorry you told me that because I told Kim that. And now I occasionally get that comment, are you PMSing? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
men go through it.
Yeah. Andropause. Remember, women go through
Anthropause.
menopause, men
That's
go
it.
through andropause. Yeah.
Did you
It's
know
a real
that?
thing.
I
It's
didn't
a
know.
real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
So get checked. Take your health seriously.
Absolutely.
And remember, everybody, Artful Angels, Angela Taylor, November 27th, October 27th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, The View. And as
ABC.
always, on ABC.
ABC.
And on As always, I want for myself what I want for everyone. I want for everyone what I want for myself. Thank you. Love
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you, Ken. Love you.
Love you.
Bye bye.
Bye.